Hey, Mel,
Morning.
how are you?
Good, and you?
Fine, thank you. Mel, so I think it looks as though because I'm joining the meeting, I can't get a copy of the comments. Is it possible for you to email that, or is that a bit of a mission?
I also don't know, like with the previous, before the update on Zoom, right? As soon
Yes,
as the meeting ended, the file saved automatically for the chat.
yes.
That's no longer available.
Oh,
Hey, we are live. You can start.
okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the STEM Lockdown Digital School, and welcome to the Grade 6 First Additional Language Reading Lesson for Week 5. Somebody asked, are we learning about snakes today? But the answer is no, we're still learning about birds this week. It's really nice that you could join us this morning. Thank you for coming. Now I've got the chat open. So I am Teacher Fiona. That's how I'm going to introduce myself now from now on. Teacher Fiona, and hello. Thank you for joining today. So I always like to tell you what we're going to do first so that you know what's coming. So today we're working from term 2, week 3 and 4 of the CAPS curriculum for reading and writing. And we are going to review how information text is presented. Remember, this week is all about information text and descriptions. So we're going to review how information text is presented, and we're going to look again at the way a paragraph is formed, because that's a very important skill. Then we're going to watch a short video on penguins, just to remind you what penguins are like. And we're going to describe a penguin orally using a template. Same template as we used yesterday, because I really want you to get into that habit of doing descriptions using your 5 senses. After that, we'll have a discussion about penguins, and we'll review some of the vocabulary in the text. We'll read information text, and I'm hoping you will read aloud with me as we read to practice your reading, and you'll answer questions about the text and have a chance to create a summary as a way of remembering what you've read. So you can see that it's a busy day today, and lots to do. I'm not going to take raised hands just at the moment. I'll take raised hands later when we do an activity. Okay, so let's start. So now we're going to quickly review information text. So as you know, information text is a piece of non-fiction writing which gives information about a topic. And information texts do not mention events in chronological order like stories. Information text is usually presented with a main title, subheadings. Sometimes it uses bullet points, but mostly it uses paragraphs. And you'll also find pictures with captions, maps, diagrams, etc. So today, as we read our information text, look out for those things. Look out for the main title, look out for the subheadings, look out for the paragraphs and any pictures, maps, diagrams, or captions. Right. And then, excuse me, let's just review how we write a paragraph. So I've got one eye on the chat in case you have any questions. So you remember that a paragraph, when you're writing a paragraph, you don't just write a whole lot of sentences together and think that's a paragraph. No, a paragraph has got a structure. And the structure is that it's usually around 5 sentences. It could be more. It's got a topic sentence, which sort of summarizes whatever else is going to be said in that paragraph. And it's got 3 or 4 supporting sentences that elaborate on what the topic sentence introduces. Then it's got a concluding sentence and a main idea. So, for example, let's read this paragraph together. Okay, I want you to read out loud. So you're practicing your reading. Read along with me. Describe a penguin. A penguin is a black and white bird that cannot fly. It has a large head, a short neck, and an elongated body. Its tail is short, stiff, and wedge-shaped. Its legs and webbed feet are set back on its body, which allows it to waddle in an upright position. A penguin is a piscivore because it lives on fish and other sea creatures. Now I see that I started that last sentence on a new line, and I shouldn't have done that, because in a paragraph, all the sentences follow one another. Right, so there's our paragraph. Which sentence, just call it out, which sentence would you say is the topic sentence? Well, the topic sentence is the writing in red. A penguin is a black and white bird that cannot fly. And then all the other sentences are related to that statement. It summarizes the whole paragraph. Then there's 3 or 4 other sentences, maybe even more, which are supporting sentences. And they also talk about the description of a penguin. Then there's a concluding sentence to bring the paragraph to an end. And the main idea is the same as the topic sentence. It's about describing the penguin. I hope you all get that. You all get that? Good. I don't see any queries in the chat box, so that's awesome. Okay, let's go on. Oh, sorry. Now, I do want you to watch a little video here about just a short one.
Above to see more.
Right, so there we have penguins, and of course those are the ones that live in Antarctica in the cold. Not all penguins live in the cold, but that's where the majority live. And we're going to find out more about penguins today as we do our English lesson. So we're going to start off by describing a penguin. You don't have to write notes yet. You don't have to write notes yet. Somebody's asking if we have to write notes. Not yet. So we're going to describe a penguin, and yesterday we had a similar task describing a bird. Do you remember that? And I asked if anybody would do their description into Flipgrid, but nobody has yet, unfortunately. But let's practice describing a penguin, because now you've heard a paragraph on the penguin and you've watched a video on a penguin. So when we describe, we have to make the picture come alive to the person who's listening. I am going to ask somebody at the end if they would like to give a description so that we can see. So when this is how I'd like you to set out your oral description. You talk about its name. I am talking about a penguin. It belongs to the bird family, even though it cannot fly. And then you describe it. You mention its body parts, and you mention adjectives use adjectives to describe it, and you use the 5 senses. You talk about what you can see. If you had to feel it, what would it feel like? If you had to touch it, if you had to hear it calling, what would it sound like? You can't always use all 5 senses, but you can usually use 3, at least 3 of them. And then you mention which group it belongs to when it comes to eating. We did all that yesterday. Remember, some animals are carnivores, some are piscivores, some are herbivores. Right, I'm going to give you a minute, and then I'm going to ask you to raise your hand if you'd like to do an oral description of a penguin. Okay, would anybody like to raise their hand and do an oral description of a penguin? Kaylee raised her hand. Okay, Mel? Lots of raised hands. Mel, are you going to choose someone?
Ma'am, it's a penguin.
Yes,
And
hello.
Hello, ma'am, it's a penguin.
I'm trying to unmute. If you just give me a moment.
Great. Yes, go on.
Ma'am, it's a penguin. It eats fish and it is a carnivore. Oh, it's a piscivore.
That's it, yes. And what, describe it?
Ma'am, it's white and it's black.
Right. Is that all?
Ma'am, ma'am, the feathers help it from getting cold.
Right, okay. Okay, well done, well done. Should we have another person and then we'll go on?
Ma'am, it's a penguin. It belongs to the bird family.
Good.
And it have a white and black skinish feathers.
Yes.
It's wearing a tuxedo, and it's when it comes to eating, it is a carnivorous.
A piscivore, fish, piscivore.
Okay. A piscivore.
Right. Okay, excellent. Right, well done, those two brave people and all the others that raised your hands. Well done. Let's go on now. Okay. So let's have a quick discussion about penguins, and you can just call out the answers because we won't have time to actually ask you to say it, but it's good to do this just before you read information text to see what you don't know yet. Okay, so what does a penguin look like? We talked about that now. It's elongated body, etc., etc. Just give one sentence that you call out about, but no one can hear you except yourself, what it looks like. Do we find penguins in South Africa? Use one sentence to answer that. Don't raise your hands at the moment because I'm not going to take raised hands right now. Number 3, are penguins friendly or dangerous creatures? Do you think if you had to go and see penguins, they'd come up to you and rub themselves against your leg like a cat? Or are they dangerous? How would you describe them? Are there different kinds of penguins? Or is it just one kind altogether? I see some of you answering in the chat box. That's a good, really good way to do it. What do penguins eat? Do they eat meat? Do they eat fish? What is their family life like? Do they have a mate? Don't they have a mate? And why do people like penguins? Do you like penguins? I like penguins. Right. And our last one, what do you find the most interesting fact about penguins? What do you find the most interesting fact about penguins? I think for me, it's the fact that they've got wings, but they can't fly. Their wings are actually like flippers, aren't they? They're like flipping, they're flippers more than wings, but they are birds. Isn't that interesting? Well, let's go on. Let's go on. Now, before we read, let's go over some of the words you're going to come across in the reading so that you remember, so that you'll be familiar with them. You're going to we've come across this word already, elongated. Its body's elongated. It means it's slightly longer than you would have expected for its size. It's got a wedge-shaped tail. That means it tapers to a thin edge at one side, at one end. It waddles. It doesn't walk, it waddles. That means it walks with short steps and a clumsy swaying motion. It goes from side to side like that. You find penguins on quite a few sites in Africa. Sites meaning specific places where you can find penguins. There's one just near Cape Town, just near where I live, Boulders Beach. Penguins are monogamous. That's a big word, but all it means is that they have one mate for life. Their biggest enemy are predators. Predators are an animal that naturally preys on another animal. And they're not endangered, but they're vulnerable. It means that it's possible that they could become endangered because they're getting less and less in the world. And our last one, their numbers are dwindling. That means they're getting less and less. Okay, so we're going to be ready to read now. I would like you to practice your reading with me because it's a reading lesson. Read aloud using the appropriate pronunciation, fluency, and expression Are you ready? Good. So let's read about penguins. That's our main heading. Let's read about penguins' appearance. A penguin is a black and white bird that cannot fly. It has a large head, short neck, and an elongated body. Its tail is short, stiff, and wedge-shaped. Its legs and webbed feet are set far back on its body, which allows it to waddle in an upright position. African penguins are a medium size. They are sometimes called jackass penguins because they make a noise that sounds like a donkey braying. Now, somebody asked me if they should take notes, and it's a good idea when you are reading information text just to jot down maybe 1 or 2 keywords, not proper notes, just keywords. So you could say its body here and jackass penguins, for example. Those could be your 2 key points. Now, do you see that picture of the jackass penguin? That's here in Boulders Beach. You'll notice that in the video, the penguins had some yellow on them. Those are emperor penguins that live in Antarctica. This is the jackass penguin, and it's really called the African penguin, but because it makes a noise like a donkey, it's called a jackass penguin. All right, let's go on. So if you can't read aloud, just read under your breath. Read with me, as long as you're reading with me and practicing your reading. Okay. So habitat, meaning where it lives. Penguins are found in Antarctica and cold parts of the world. They are also found in 17 sites in Africa and South Africa. Tourists love to visit Boulders Beach in Cape Town to view the penguins. A group of penguins is called a colony, and you can see a picture of a colony of penguins on the right. Family life. Whoops. Penguins are, I went too fast there, I think. Family life. Penguins are monogamous, and the penguin pair stays together usually for many years. The African penguin lays 2 eggs, but sadly, 40% of the eggs are eaten by predators. The parents take turns to sit on the eggs till they hatch. Penguin babies are brown in color. So they lay 2 eggs. We saw a picture in the video of a penguin with quite a few babies. Maybe the emperor penguins have more. But this one lays 2. Now there's a map of Africa. Excuse me. And you can see where the penguins are. They're kind of round the coast of Africa and up along the coast of Namibia in 17 different places. Amazing, isn't it? What do they eat? Penguins are piscivores because they feed mainly on sardines, pilchards, anchovies, squid, and crustaceans. They are excellent and fast swimmers. When they hunt for food, they can reach speed up to 20 kilometers per hour. They often dive as much as 30 meters down into the ocean. So you can see that they are very good in the water. And there's a picture of a penguin with a baby penguin. You can see the brown color. Probably becomes black as it gets to a certain age. I forgot to do my underlining there. Sorry about that. Are penguins endangered? Penguins are not endangered, but they are called a vulnerable species. You can see the red line, the red writing. Their numbers are dwindling, mainly due to predators such as seals, sharks, and whales. Okay, how did you find that? Did you follow everything? And do you think you remember some of the points under each heading? Okay, let's see if you can fill in the following blank spaces as we go along. So, penguins are something and something in color, and their young are something in color. Can you fill in those missing words? They are something and something in color, and their young are something in color. Which words are you going to put in there? Which colors? Okay, what color are the babies? Okay, number 2. African penguins are sometimes called something penguins because they sound like a something braying. What words are you going to put there? African penguins are sometimes called penguins because they sound like a braying. Got those 2 words? I'm seeing answers there. Good. Number 3. Penguins are mainly found in and also in 17 places in and So they're found in the one big place where there's snow, and they're also found in 17 places in and Okay. Number 4. Penguins are called flightless birds because they Penguins are called flightless birds because they Right. Let's go on. Number 5. A group of penguins is known as a Number 6. We say that a penguin is because it usually has one mate for life. Can you remember that big word? I wonder if you can remember that big word. We say that a penguin is does start with a because it usually has one mate for life. Number 7. Penguins eat mainly fish. So we say that penguins are What do you call somebody that an animal that eats mainly fish? Number 8. Penguin numbers are getting less and less. So they're not endangered, but they are not yet classed as something birds. They are not yet classed as something birds. Right, there's the 8 sentences. Let's see, mark your own work. Okay. Penguins are black and white in color, and their young are brown in color. Did you get that? Good. Number 2. African penguins are sometimes called jackass penguins because they sound like a donkey braying. Did you get that? Number 3. Penguins are mainly found in Antarctica and in 17 places in Africa and South Africa. You could also say 17 places in Namibia and South Africa. Right. Number 4. Penguins are called flightless birds because they cannot fly. All good so far? Yay. A group of penguins is known as a colony. Number 6. We say that a penguin is monogamous because it usually has one mate for life. Got that? Number 7. Penguins eat mainly fish, so we say they are piscivores. Got that? Good. And number 8. Penguin numbers are getting less and less, but they are not yet classed as endangered birds. Remember, we gave them a different name, vulnerable birds. I'm just having a drink of water. How did you do? Did you get all those words? Well done, well done. Right. Now, when you've been reading information text and you write down your keywords, then afterwards you can create a summary and just see what you remember. So you make a summary of the headings. So for today we did appearance, habitat, family life, food, and endangered. So I'm wondering if anybody can raise their hands and just give me one keyword for each of those. One thing you remembered about each of those headings. Just 1 point. Oh, I see Tristan's hand is up first. So shall we, let's see what Mel does. Right.
It's Mallory.
Appearance.
Okay, hello.
Hello. Appearance. It is black and white on the outside.
Excellent. Go on.
And then
Habitat.
habitat. Ma'am, I'm not sure.
It lives in South Africa. In
It lives in South
17
Africa.
sites in South Africa. Okay. Family life. Family life. Okay, so yes. Family life. Remember we said it is has one mate. Okay. What about food? Food, what does it eat?
Fish.
It eats fish. And what can we say about endangered?
They're not endangered yet?
Good. Okay. Right. Is somebody else wants to have a go? And this time we're going to make it a bit harder. If you'd like a go, but you have to give 2 facts for each heading. Anybody want to try and do that? Give 2 facts for each heading? Okay, I see hands are up. Let's see.
Tapanswa?
Hello. Okay. Appearance. Too shy. Too shy. I don't hear anything.
Kaylee?
Ma'am,
Okay.
appearance is elongated,
Right.
shaped,
Wedge
and
shaped tail. Yes.
ma'am, it lives in the coast of Africa,
Yes.
and ma'am, it's in Namibia.
Right. Good. Family life.
Ma'am, it's in a monogamous and predators.
Yes. Very good. Okay. Food.
Ma'am, it eats fish and ma'am, it is a salskiver.
Right. And endangered.
Ma'am, vulnerable and dwindling.
Very good. So you got all your keywords down. Yay. Excellent. Excellent. Well, we won't take any more, but it's a good habit when you start reading and at school and you want to remember things afterwards. You create a summary and you try and remember what you've read. Now, I would love to hear you reading. So once again, for homework, I'd love it if you'd go to Flipgrid and type in this code and then click the plus sign and read. So that the code is, copy it down, FAE 94999. FAE, oh, You got that down? FAE 94999. And all you have to do is find something to read and practice your reading. That would be so nice. So nice. I can get to know you. Right, let's just do that code again in a bigger form. See? FAE 94999. Got that? Okay. Now, just let's review what we did today as we bring our lesson to a close. You worked from term 2, week 3 and 4, CAPS. You reviewed information text and how it's written. Zamili's raised her hand, but we'll ask you after I've read this, Zamili. We reviewed how a paragraph is formed. You watched a short video on penguins. You described a penguin orally using a template. You had a discussion about penguins. And you reviewed some of the vocabulary in the text. You read information text. And you answered questions about the text. And you learned how to create a summary at the end. Well done, everybody. Zamili, do you still want to say something?
Ma'am, there's a pen
Okay,
drown.
okay. Yeah, I thought it was just those two. Okay, yeah, we'll copy them to the form. I'll update the email and then send that.
Yes.
Does a penguin drown?
Sorry, say that again.
Does a penguin drown?
No, it never drowns because it's such a good swimmer. It never drowns. Very good swimmer.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, so this week, if you've got time, practice your reading whenever you can. And if you're looking for books to read, join this Oxford Owl because there are readers there that you could join. And visit Storyline online because they've got some lovely stories. And watch today's video again. It's called Penguins. Thank you. I see some nice comments there. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Very good. Very good. So I'm going to say that I would like you to come to tomorrow's lesson. It's a language lesson. We'll review our language. And then, yes, so just to tell you a bit more, we're going to take what we've learned about birds and penguins, and we're going to use it to teach. I'm going to use that to teach you some important language concepts, language and grammar. So I hope you'll come. Look forward to seeing you there. And I will say goodbye. Don't forget, if you are on social media, Lockdown School, hashtag Lockdown School. So thank you all for coming, and thanks for, it's so nice to be able to see the comment box and hear your voices. So it's been wonderful teaching you today. Bye-bye.